Well. We are back for another edition of Pop Apologist. Chanler, welcome. So good to see you.
Welcome to you. You look bronzed and glowy. I'm serious. You look like sun-kissed and beach refreshed.
I did land from St. Bartholomew this morning. About 2 hours ago, I landed. And I am getting on another plane in about 3 hours. So I'm flying to Utah today. So it's a very hectic day for me. But thank you. This tan is primarily artificial, but I appreciate the compliment nonetheless.
Well, I can't outdo you with that schedule, but I did, I landed about 36 hours ago from a hellish day of traveling back from California. And I'm leaving again in 1 hour. Basically 2 hours,
Tell me about
I
that
guess.
flight. I saw a little bit on Instagram, but then I was, busy, so I didn't. Or I don't know if you filled everyone else in. Did you finish the tale?
Oh my gosh, Lauren. This journey day, this travel day, this hell day. Okay, well, let's begin. We book a flight from Orange County Airport to Newark. And that was kind of ideal because I hate doing LAX. The other option is San Diego. And it's just both of those airports are very far. So we booked a local airport flight all the way nonstop back to New York. Mm-hmm. We paid a premium for this. All right. After the wedding we went to.
Because SNA Airport is not LAX. So it's more expensive to fly out of there.
Correct, Lauren. Well, when we get on the flight, Ben says, we're row 34. And I think, okay, towards the back, we're in the back. Once I passed row 27, I realize the rows are running out.
So you could be the final row on this vessel.
Exactly. We could be the final row. It dawns on me. I don't say anything. And Ben kind of turns. And I think he said these were the only seats next to each other, which is sweet because I definitely don't like to sit apart for sure. But I wasn't really given the option. I didn't know that this was, what was in store for me. So I see that we're in the very last row and I'm like, okay, it's fine. I can do this. It's a nonstop 5-hour flight, 5 hours, 30 minutes. We sit down. I have no leg room. There's definitely no reclining and I have no leg room at all. It kind of started to make me panic, just sensory wise, panic because I was I felt like a prisoner. I'm in almost like the chokey where it's I have no space. And I also had I couldn't move. I had no space. Right. And I knew I had to sit in this seat for the next 5 hours. Ben is a very chivalrous and he always takes the middle seat. And I always take the window.
Okay. I mean, Ben for president, Ben gets a lot of props from the listeners and I think he deserves them, but wow, what a gentleman. I mean, can't get as many strengths, but he would never.
We kind of started, we used to trade off and then something happened where I just always took the window seat and he never said anything. And so sometimes I'll be like, oh, do you want me to take the middle kind of half-heartedly? And then he doesn't take me up on it. But anyway, I think he knew that I was not doing well and he had booked these seats, this flight. So we sit down, I'm starting to talk myself off a ledge because I'm like, am I going to have my first panic attack? You guys, I fly economy all the time. I've flown first class less than 4 times my whole life. I'm not too good for economy. The last row of seats, I think also on United is so grim.
It's bearish.
It's bearish and it's prisoner like it's like Guantanamo. And
definitely. Yeah. A lot of people would say that.
A lot of people have said that. Anyway, the next guy who's sitting on the aisle, okay, he's got to be 6'4", and he's a bigger guy. He's just tall and
And Ben is also not, small of stature. And so Ben is a broad man. So you were really caged in, suffocated by humans.
And this is when I started to feel am I going to have a nervous breakdown panic attack for the first time in my life? Am I going to need to find a Xanax on this flight? Because it's the type of thing where you can't really bend over at all because there's not enough room for your body to extend. So, obviously, by the time we get to our seats, it's the plane is locked in, we should be ready to go soon. Well, 20 minutes go by, the pilot comes on and he says, this flight is very full and we are overweight. And so we are going to hear back from the, dispatch or whatever about what we should do. So we're trying to wait to hear what our plan of action is. Okay.
Who here ate too much at lunch?
I was I know I've just been at a wedding for a couple of days, but this feels this feels pretty rude. But I think it's actually mostly due to luggage because the flight was completely full. So, oh man, Lordy, give me the strength to tell the rest of the story. We then, I won't drag this out, but what was supposed to be, a 45-minute delay turns into 2.5 hours. And the plane is so
sitting
hot.
Sitting
on the tarmac in row 34.
Because the planes are so hot when they're on the tarmac because they can't, for whatever reason, the AC can't come on until they're taxiing.
Honestly, whoever is in charge of Boeing, Airbus, Lufthansa, like, can we figure this out? Because I was wearing a tight long sleeve shirt and a bralette. Okay. And I was like, I have to take off my shirt right now because I thank God I was wearing a bra. I took off my shirt. I was so hot.
Stop.
You can kind of tell in the photo I posted.
You were only wearing a bralette.
Yes, Lauren.
Like, you could have been arrested for indecency.
No.
Was it lace bralette or was it like?
No, it was a very frumpy bralette. So I don't think anybody was looking twice. And once again, you now with your new chest, you would get arrested. Me, not getting arrested.
Okay, well, thank you so much for outing me, Chanler. Well, I've discussed this on the premium episodes, everyone, and you can hear more details about that there. Yes, honestly, that's insane. I cannot believe that. You must have felt suffocated.
Well, so then, I absolutely felt suffocated. I really was having to take deep breaths to try not to start crying. At one point, Ben kind of is starting to hit a wall. Thank God the flight attendant comes up to us at, right as they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to actually take some fuel off the plane and then we're going to have to make a stop now in Cleveland and refuel because we can't basically fly with a full tank of gas because it's too much weight.
Oh my gosh.
So then we get added, we add a stopover. But then thank God. So they're like, okay, we're finally going to get off the ground. It's been 2.5 hours. They tell the guy next to us, there's a seat up in the middle of the plane if you want to move. So then they move the guy. And he moves. So then Ben and I have the last row to ourselves. And that was my saving grace.
Did you and Ben continue to sit next to each other?
No, of course not. No, we both I put my feet up on the middle seat for the whole plane ride.
If that had been the case, I would have not wanted you to share it because that would be very unlikable.
I was trying not to pick a fight over what he'd done because I just needed to vent. I needed to release the emotion that I was feeling, but I knew it wasn't his fault that we were stuck there. And
you buried the lead. What had he done?
Booked us these seats.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that was his error. That was his sin.
Grave error.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm so happy you made it back. You finally had some space, and
one more
you're all
thing.
Good.
The worst part about traveling, in my opinion, is trying to feed yourself on these flights, So we're in the very last row. It's been, an hour of them trying to do snack service. And, they give us our one bag of pretzels and a little ginger ale. And I'm like, I'm now starving because this whole day has been evaporated, by our delay and then this flight. And then you just feel like a rat because you're like, okay, I'll take all 3 of the snack boxes, but all 3 of the snack boxes have the most measly quantities of all the food. So it's like I'm scraping the bottom of the hummus container for 60 calories worth of hummus. It's awful, Lauren.
It's food for ants, the portion sizes, it's for small children. And you feel both corpulent and still hungry as you're eating so many of them, but you're still not satisfied and you feel disgusting.
No, exactly that. And if you have a broken brain, like most women, you're then going to also shame yourself for the amount of food you've eaten, even though you've probably had max 400 calories.
Right. You're like, I can't control myself. I'm being judged by everyone around me. Yes. There's trash everywhere. I'm a filthy animal.
I've just spent $30 on, snack boxes and everybody knows it. Anyway, so
Chanler,
it was grim.
Whew. It's grim. And you're hopping back on a flight. What are you flying to Utah?
United again. United. But I did book myself row 7. So I will be, towards the front of the plane. Thank God. And it's just me.
Thank God. I am flying American, and I do feel like I'm risking the biscuit flying American because I have a connection. I'm flying from Puerto Rico to Utah today after this recording. And I feel like American is just kind of unrunreliable. Is the sentiment,
airline?
do you agree?
What airline? I don't
American
even know
Airlines.
about American. I know. I just never fly it. I don't even think I have an account with American Airlines. That's how Like, that's how desolate things must be for you to have booked American.
It was the only flight I could get that would work with this schedule and recording a stunning episode for our listeners. We just want to say, first of all, everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this show. Thank you for potentially listening to our episode on Juicy Scoop, which was so fun.
It was so fun. I don't know. I'm just so proud of us. It was like such a dream come true moment.
I'm proud of us too. I'm pretty sure I gave mostly incoherent answers because I was quite nervous and, would stumble over my words, but I'm so happy we did it. And it was a major bucket list experience. So Heather was amazing. She was so sweet.
Lauren, you did a great job. Also, I think that we always kind of have amnesia after we get done with one of these guest recordings where we like black out and we're like, what did I even say? Was it good? I've listened to the episode. You sounded
you
perfect.
Listened?
Of course I did.
Thank goodness.
First thing this morning.
Okay, I love that you listened. I love that you are not so sick of our voices that you can still listen back. Because for me, I've heard us speak so much in my times on this show that I tend to avoid it if I can.
Let me be clear. You have to QA all of our episodes before they go live. So you are listening to twice, if not 3 times the amount of, us content than I am.
That's true. I have a little more trauma than you. Should we move on to the celebrity topics?
Well, I kind of want to share another update in my life.
Oh, wait, are you sharing your update?
Why wouldn't I share? Everybody?
I don't know what update you're about to share. I feel like a lot is moving for Chanler right now. I'm just so excited that you're finally sharing something.
There are moving parts happening within my body, within my life, within my lodgings. Everyone, we have signed a lease and we are moving to Brooklyn at the end of this month.
Chanler got a beautiful apartment. It is so stunning. It is a 2-bedroom. So you're going to have much more space.
It's a total upgrade in a lot of ways. It's definitely an upgrade. There are obviously downsides. Anytime you move to a new spot, you're not going to have the exact same, perfect everything as the place that you're used to, but it's a total upgrade. Like we will have 2 bedrooms now. We are gaining about 300 square feet. Okay. So just everyone lock into that. Just imagine that in your mind's eye, 300 more square feet for me. Woo.
Well, I will say also though, that is almost double your current apartment, right?
We are doubling. We're doubling our house. We're renovating. We're doubling our house. I don't know. I need to think of a richer way to say that. But yeah, I mean, we were very excited. We will be like a little bit, further away from public transportation. Right now, we're kind of spoiled. We're very close to an express train and other trains, but it's worth it. Like we need more space. We're looking to have a little bit of a nicer space, and this will be that. It's in like a brownstone type building, but it's all been renovated. So we're actually going to be the first people to move in there. This could mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I'm very, very excited.
Chanler has heated floors in her bathroom. Like
I do.
That in both bathrooms probably.
Both
Lauren. Bathrooms have heated floors.
That's plural for you.
Wow. I mean, that is a true luxury. I'm so happy for you. I think you do have another announcement coming soon, but we're going to wait on that one.
More announcements coming soon, multiple probably. We went to the apartment yesterday, took a look at everything, and like the bathtub is really spacious. It's just, in a lot of ways, it's going to feel so much better. But yeah, I'm sad to leave the Upper West Side. I have amazing friends here, very close. And so it's going to be, we're going to have to make sure that we come back here all the time.
Well, you can write letters to them.
Exactly.
So
yes,
they'll remember you. They'll see you on Instagram.
This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's okay to struggle. Real strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying and doing something about it, so you can be at your best for yourself and everyone in your life. I have been going to therapy for years. I can't say enough good things about it. It took me a while to find the right therapist, but once I did, it was a game changer. It has helped me with basically every facet of my life. It's changed the way I approach relationships, my job, like everything. With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/popapologists. That's betterhelp.com/popapologists. So, my dad's a divorce attorney, which means he spends a lot of time in court, in a full suit and tie, playing therapist, referee, and lawyer all in one. But when he's off the clock, he's the softest, kindest dad, and he's our safe place. This Father's Day, I'm giving him the opposite of courtroom chaos, a cozy earth all day tee and a pair of their studio pants. It's the perfect 5 to 9 uniform for a guy who's usually dressed like he's on an episode of Law and Order. The fabric is made from viscose from bamboo. It's so insanely breathable, buttery soft, and helps regulate body temperature. He'll finally get to relax in something that feels as good as he deserves. And the best part, Cozy Earth has a lifetime warranty on all apparel. Cozy Earth makes comfort that lasts, and this Father's Day, he deserves it. Go to cozyearth.com and use code POP for 40% off all men's apparel. For the dads who work hard during their 9 to 5 and deserve the best during their 5 to 9.
Should we move on to the celebrity topics at hand today?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's get into the first one, which is, well, actually, I want to talk a little Karen Read. Can we?
I mean, please.
So did you see the police officer that Alan Jackson subpoenaed and called to the stand?
I don't know if I caught this. After I left the Southern California Karen Read headquarters, i.e. our mother's house, where she just has the trial, playing out loud all day long. Yeah, I didn't catch the latest.
Okay, well, I'm here to keep you abreast. So there's this police officer that apparently gave statements to the FBI that indicated that she believed that there was foul play on the part of the police, that there was some colluding, okay?
Just so everyone knows, the FBI opened up a separate case, I should say a separate investigation into the police department to look into the gross misconduct and, potential foul play, whatever you want to call it. And so that's been happening in the background of both of these trials. But that case is not supposed to play a role in this trial. It's supposed to be kept totally separate, and it's not supposed to be a factor in it.
Which I find to be kind of insane, because I feel like it's a pretty material information if I'm on the jury that the FBI is investigating this police investigation. That to me seems like relevant information. I don't know. I don't know why it can't be included.
I agree with you, but I also think that because the investigation hasn't concluded and there's no concrete findings as far as I know, that it's not like they can, look to that as hard evidence or truth. And the other thing is that I'm sure if they were to find her guilty and then the FBI investigation were to come back and, find the police department guilty of some gross misconduct or something, I'm sure that would be just a very smooth road to an appeal for Karen Read.
Good point. That is a good point. There are many ways of the justice system that I'm not privy to as just a layperson and a non-officer of the court. So I will defer to the people who make the laws of the land. But the thing I will say is that this police officer who gave these statements to the FBI, so Alan Jackson called her as a witness, and she was very hostile to Alan Jackson. And basically, she is walking back those statements. And it seems like she has been basically turned by the rest of the officers. That is how Alan Jackson is kind of painting it, and it's pretty convincing. So this case just continues to confound.
I wish that we had the time and the bandwidth to do a trial, series on this, because I am so gripped by it, and there's not enough people, I think, honestly, doing trial recaps about it. And I'm struggling to get all the information that I want. And
this may be a missed opportunity, truly, because they are televising it too. So.
I know. What I want to say about that, though, Lauren, is I just think that any person who wants to come out in defense of Karen Read, who's a part of that community, will have to move. There is no way that someone in that community who wants to, come out against the police department, I think, can stay in there. I just think it's just too much like the mob or something.
It's a mob with a lot of amnesia, okay? Because this mob can remember nothing. When Alan Jackson is questioning her, she all of a sudden can't remember anything she said before.
Maybe there's something in the water there, because also Colin Albert, has true memory issues for a man his age.
I think that the collective amnesia happening in Canton should be studied, truly. Something is going on there. Yeah, and it's funny because she's like, I can't remember, just like you can't remember my name, I can't remember. She snaps at him. So, and again, it's the police should be neutral parties. They should not be taking sides here.
And if you are really hostile to, I think, one of the attorneys, especially the defense, I think it makes you look bad as a witness. I think you should just be as neutral as possible, because then it shows that you're like just being truthful. You have no dog in the fight.
Well, especially though, as a police officer, right? Where you should just be, yes, someone who just seeks justice in all ways, in all forms. Anyway, that is the Karen Read update. I did watch a little bit of The Valley.
Oh yes, please, let's talk about it. I'm not as caught up as you, so tell me what's going on.
Well, I just have one question for you. I'm not completely caught up, but I watched the first half of the last episode, and we're talking about not Jesse, it's Nia's husband, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of drama over this swig of tequila in the closet. And the pantry swig of tequila, truly, it was the swig heard all around Santa Barbara. Him shutting the door, Janet just feels that was like a very odd thing to do. It created a moment where, so basically for our people who have not watched, Janet says, one of these friends on this trip, that he came into the pantry while she was there. He closed the door and he took a big swig of tequila.
Does anything sound worse, for the record?
So gross, so disgusting. But men do that, right? Like some men do that. People have different drinking habits, whatever. And when they drink, they don't, whatever. That is done. So the thing that I find to be so interesting about it, though, is to me it just seems like partying behavior. It doesn't seem like this nefarious activity where he, as Janet says, created this secret between them. And, she felt like now she needed to keep this secret. Maybe you just like don't want someone to see you taking a swig directly from the bottle. What do you think?
Thank you for asking. I actually thought that the explanation was a lot simpler. As far as I remember, I thought that he said that like the tequila was like hanging on the wall behind the door or something. And so you had to like physically close the door in order to like retrieve the bottle or something.
My gosh.
And I believe he said that or something like that. I think why it is being made into this huge deal is two reasons. Yeah. Janet is a studied pot stirrer. She did this last season. She's watched shows before this. Like, I'm pretty sure she admitted to watching Housewives or something. So she knows what to do. She knows what to bring. And then the other reason is because, there was this moment between Jasmine and her fiance and him on Halloween where he was too drunk and he totally, misbehaved and like crossed a line with her, and he like touched her butt and he said, "Go get daddy a drink." Like, I think that he might be the personality type where he does drink too much and he might turn a little bit into someone you don't want to be around when he drinks. I don't believe Danny has a drinking problem, but that is now the entire storyline that's becoming this season. It's like Jesse and Michelle's divorce, and it's, Danny and his drinking issues. And I just think it's not true. And I think it's very, very like grave for Janet to be like, I have a friend who's dealt with addiction. And it's like, okay, we're really now like going into like very sensitive territory. And I think you are just, I don't believe that's true.
Nia was explaining that she was homeless with her mother and that they would camp in their friends' backyards, sleep on couches, sleep in her car,
dig through the trash for like bottles to
cans,
like really, really like awful stuff, like for a kid to go through.
Yeah, extremely traumatic stuff. And for Janet to use that moment in the conversation to then compare Danny's drinking to her ex who had a drug and alcohol problem, to basically say, okay, and also your husband's an alcoholic.
Yes.
And it's just, again, it's like, it's all for the sake of the show. And I just feel like a little bit this season, I'm kind of tired of the plot lines. They don't feel like Brittany becoming unglued at Nia for not being honest that Danny was passed out drunk by just saying that he was sleeping. I just feel like it's feeling a little contrived. Is all I'm trying to say.
I totally agree. I totally agree that it's feeling contrived. And I also think that if you were really friends with somebody, you would not just throw around the addict, alcoholic, like language. And it's just fully like, now we're going to have our on-camera moment. So I got to, turn it up.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. But we will continue watching and we will continue reporting back on the Valley, everyone. Worry not.
Do you have anything you want to say about Jesse calling Michelle a whore? Like, that stuff is real. You want to talk about someone who has a drinking problem, who turns cruel and terrible when they're drunk. Like, look at Jesse. I think, he might not be an alcoholic, but he maybe isn't the personality type of someone who should drink a lot because he turns into a monster.
I don't even think it's the drinking though. I just think he is a monster, personally.
Yeah, totally.
I just think
he might just be that way naturally.
And it is really sweet to see how happy she is now, because I remember like watching last season when they were still together and he seemed really into her and she kind of seemed like just like massively not into him, just didn't like him and so over him and really unhappy. And it is kind of amazing to just see like how she lights up and is so happy now with Aaron. It's just sweet to see.
I agree. And I think we're like seeing new sides of her personality. Being married to Jesse would be a nightmare.
It's just interesting though, because last season she didn't say, like this season she is saying, he never told me he loved me. He never would call me pretty. Like she's saying all of these really horrible things that you would feel as a wife if your husband did that. But I feel like last season we weren't really privy to that. Maybe because she just wasn't sure that they were going to get divorced. So she wasn't sure if she was going to like, air out their full dirty laundry and why she was so unhappy.
I bet that's exactly like her reasoning. I also wonder if it's like, hey, I didn't know how I was going to come across this season. Now she has like fans behind her and she might feel a little more comfortable being like super honest about it,
I completely agree. And I think she's probably, she's just like loosening up being on the show longer. Anything else from the Valley you want to get into?
No, I want to talk about the latest with Blake and Justin, what came out yesterday.
Okay. Yes. What came out? Please fill us in.
Summer's almost here, and I'm all about eating lighter without giving up foods that I love. That's where Hero Bread comes in. Whether it's a breakfast bagel or a dinner roll, Hero lets me stick to my health goals and enjoy every bite. I started with their classic plain bagels, only 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and 19 grams of protein. They're soft, fluffy, and taste just like the real thing, for quick wraps and taco nights, and they're truly so satisfying. Hero Bread is one of those rare finds that gets it right. Soft, fluffy, and perfect for everything from burgers to lunch wraps. You'd never guess it's low net carb, high fiber, and has 0 sugar. No weird aftertaste, no compromises, just really, really good bread. From sliced bread and buns to bagels and tortillas, even small batch croissants, Hero Bread has it all. Ready to level up your summer staples? Hero Bread is offering 10% off. Just go to hero.co and use code POP at checkout. That's hero.co, code POP. Pop Apologist is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game, shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliate. Price and coverage match limited by state law, not available in all states. So Blake Lively is trying to abandon her infliction of emotional distress claim with her lawsuit. So basically they're trying to now, remove that claim from her lawsuit. So she, so I'm just going to read from the article so I don't get anything wrong with the legalese. But Lively, who previously accused Justin of both intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress in a December 2024 lawsuit, is attempting to withdraw the allegations after Baldoni's legal team sought to obtain her medical records. So this is according to a document filed Monday in the lawsuit.
So interesting. So basically she doesn't want her medical records out there.
Correct. Yes. So basically, because she doesn't want, her medical records to be a part of discovery, that now she's going to, remove this claim from the lawsuit. And what's interesting is that there's a little bit more technicality here. So she's, according to Justin's side, she's only willing to withdraw her claims without prejudice, which in other words means that she wants to simultaneously refuse to disclose the information and documents needed to disprove that she suffered any emotional distress and or that Wayfarer parties were the cause. And I think this is the part about, without prejudice, but she also wants to maintain the right to refile her IED claims at an unknown time in this or some other court after the discovery window has closed. So basically, she wants to withdraw the claim now, which is now they're in the time of discovery, collecting evidence. So they're requesting her medical records, but she, so she's like, okay, you can't have my medical records. So I'm going to, withdraw this claim without prejudice. But I guess if you do it with prejudice, that means that you can no longer, you can't bring it back into the court again, if that makes sense.
I'm trying to follow. I'm doing my best.
Basically, so the filing goes on, to say if Miss Lively wants to withdraw her frivolous IED claims, the Wayfarer parties are entitled to a dismissal with prejudice. This is like the term, to ensure they will not be refiled. So it's basically like, okay, well, if you're going to withdraw this claim, let's withdraw it for good. You can't bring it back, once the discovery window is closed and we can't have done our proper due diligence on our side of things.
Which makes sense, right? But you're saying that she still can bring it back, or they're saying no, you cannot drop this if you intend to bring it back at some point.
I think right now that's like what the judge has to decide is like, can she file?
Gotcha.
Can she withdraw without prejudice?
I feel like Blake Lively is 100% the bad actor in this scenario. Okay, I am Team Justin. That said, I wouldn't want my medical records, released to the public as an A-list celebrity. And that's, if they go into discovery, they're going to get leaked, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So maybe there's some stuff in them that she doesn't want to be public information. This to me is not that insane of information, but is there something I'm missing?
Well, I want to just also say that this is what her lawyers kind of said about this. They said, once again, this is a routine part of the litigation process that is being used as a press stunt. We are doing what trial lawyers do, preparing our case for trial by streamlining and focusing it. They are doing what they do, desperately seeking another tired round of tabloid coverage. So basically, they're just saying like, we're just making sure our case is really cut and dry. My only thought there is like, if her case is already kind of flimsy. And so I think removing this kind of like also removes a little bit of the validity to her claims. But I don't know. I honestly, I feel like I don't know enough like about all of the claims, and like there's just so much here that I have to like, I feel like look at it from a very top level view. And I do think this like removes some of the validity, but I also understand not wanting to have your medical records published. And I know that Brian Friedman would have a heyday with that. And it would, like it's going to be a circus.
I wonder though if because maybe there's nothing weird on her medical records. Maybe they just show her pregnancies, I don't know, a boob job or two. Who knows? Maybe it's just very standard. I know, all the plastic surgery we know about. Maybe it's pretty standard. Maybe there just honestly isn't much evidence that there was this infliction of emotional distress. And so there was never meeting with a therapist. There was never just any there's nothing backing this up. There's no documentation backing this up. And maybe that's actually the reason they're dropping it. They know they're not going to win it. And they're using maybe the medical records as some sort of I don't know if red herring is the correct term, but just some sort of way to say, okay, this is why we're removing this.
Yeah. Either way, maybe this is too reductive, but it looks like backpedaling to me.
Well, we will be following this case till the end, everyone, till Blake and Justin decide that it ends with them and they get their day in court. So we look forward to that. Should we move on to someone Blake knows? Okay.
Yes. A previous friendly
relationship. I'm talking about Sutton Foster. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about Taylor Swift.
Let's get into the Sutton Foster information. I think it's just a little funny, and then let's move to Taylor. So everyone, Sutton Foster, Hugh Jackman's new brunette flame, who he broke up his family to be with Sutton Foster, and left his wife of 3 decades. Anyway, Sutton Foster has made a red carpet appearance, but she apparently did not take any questions from reporters. And this comes in the wake of Deborra-Lee Furness seemingly shading Foster's romance with Hugh, her ex. Deborah gave a quote where she described feeling traumatized by, the betrayal she's experienced. She says, I believe in a higher power and that God/universe, whatever you relate to as your guidance, is always working for us. This belief has helped me navigate the breakdown of an almost 3-decade marriage. Any thoughts?
Well, so basically she has a red carpet appearance. She doesn't stick around for questions. She quickly ducks out after this. I mean, they're under fire right now. And, we better see another car in and out drive-through makeout real quick here, or else we're going to think trouble is in the water.
I feel like for them, if I was their publicist, I would say, we don't want to see any of you guys right now. Just don't step out in public together. Like, yeah, you can obviously go to dinner, but we're not doing any paparazzi stuff. Like, we are just keeping a low profile and letting this dissipate, right? Because obviously people are very team Deborah, as they should be. And I think it's going to take a while for people to accept Sutton as Hugh's new wife, new woman, whatever.
Right. You know who's really team Deborah?
Our mom, Deborah.
Our Deborah is extremely team
really
Deborah.
Is she? Have you talked to her about this?
Yeah.
What did she
feel
say?
like she was just like, it's horrible what he did to her.
Well, what's crazy to me is that Sutton also has an 8-year-old daughter with her ex. So they both were married. They both broke up their families.
We've talked about this before, but I have seen their looks in this play. It is not sexy. Neither of them look sexy. I don't know. It's just like, I guess like the forces of romance and lust were stronger than those costumes.
I mean, I just think, Chanler, let's be honest. I did see the pinstripe suit and bowler hat that Ben packed for your honeymoon. He knows what you like. He knows what you like him to dress up as to get it going.
Trouble, River City. I just can't even imagine singing those songs and then getting your freak on.
I can't imagine you seeing them either after that 2-second preview. I cannot imagine
it's just
either.
It's the least sexy musical ever, but I guess.
I mean, yeah. We make a special pass on this podcast for Lauren Sanchez, but that's really it for us as far as people who, whose relationships were forged in infidelity that we approve of.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Sorry, Sutton. It can't be you.
Sorry. And I think, it's going to take a long time. Also, she doesn't have, I don't know. I don't feel like she's done enough red carpet appearances and really won the public over.
Okay. Do we want to talk about Taylor?
Absolutely. I want your thoughts on this because our group chat was lit up about her night out. She stepped out with Selena Gomez. They went to Monkey Bar. It's kind of nice when she goes to a restaurant that I've been to because I'm I can picture her there. I can, think about it for 20 to 25 minutes. I was happy to see her, nearby.
Is Monkey Bar hard to get into? Is it very exclusive?
It's pretty exclusive, but I think you can walk in at 5 and maybe get a table for 2. It's another place in the city where you can get a great blue cheese martini.
So it's not the corner store.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Harder. Yes. I don't know. I'm not sophisticated. Remember?
So true. Thank you for that reminder. Can you tell me what the news is here? Because I don't really know what we are discussing. Just that she stepped out. She was wearing a black mini dress, the platform heels.
Her taking another breath.
Just the appearance.
Her.
Yeah.
And this is post buying her the Masters. This is her. Yeah, just her living another day on God's green earth.
That's what we're reporting
news.
On. Honestly, I have a hot take, which is that I thought the dress was very cute.
I did too.
She looked very cute.
So here's what I'm going to say. I mean, the dress could have been fitted a little bit better to her body, but I think we get much worse looks than this. And I did not, I would have worn that dress. I would wear that dress. I didn't love this, the heels were a little stripper for me.
I struggle with a platform heel. I didn't love the purse, but all in all, nothing about it was gravely offensive. And for that, we should be only in a place of gratitude.
Hallelujah.
We should be Melissa Wood Healthing with this experience. Just full gratitude moment, full zen, full meditation.
Thank you, universe, for working for us.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, universe. Apparently she was wearing the TNT tennis bracelet that he got her. So Taylor and Travis are still going strong. We love to see it.
I love it. I mean, I don't have much to say about the tennis bracelet other than that it's great to see it on her wrist again. Or still.
Do you think Selena paid? I know it's a little tough to figure out what to say about her wearing that tennis bracelet, but I think you did a good job.
She was in a lot of jewelry. I did notice that in the article. She was dripping in diamonds.
Which I love to see, obviously. Do you think that Selena paid for dinner because Taylor now is a little bit hard up for cash?
Totally. Taylor was like, hey, can I Venmo you next month?
Do you actually have an afterpay option at Monkey Bar? Is Klarna possible here? For sure she asked that.
Yeah.
I just made a big purchase. Okay. I'm a little cash poor these days, but I'm music rich.
Who among us hasn't been a little cash strapped at a dinner with friends and, bit off more than they can chew?
Especially while they're dripping with diamonds. I mean, you got to make that purchase somehow. Can't leave much in the bank. I've been there, girl. Okay, you guys, Bethenny Frankel has hit the runway in some beautiful swimwear. One of the swim looks was a thong, and she has clapped back at criticism because some people thought, what does your daughter think seeing you strutting around, okay, in such scantily clad apparel? So Bethenny took to TikTok to respond to the naysayers. And she said that the peanut just FaceTimed me and she said, Mama, I saw you. You did so good. She said, you have such a cute tush, Mama. You look like you're 30 years old. Bethenny continued, so we know how my daughter would feel. Bethenny explained that the fashion show is an excellent way of her teaching her daughter and other young girls about the importance of body positivity. She's at an age where kids have hormones and they're developing, and it's the skin and it's the bodies, and they're not used to their new bodies and they're not comfortable in their own skin, and other kids can be so cruel. I wish she were there with this group of friends because like the body positivity and the women owning their bodies was really just beyond. Thoughts?
I'm so sick of bikini fashion shows being sold to us as body positivity, marathons. Just like the comments about, what does your daughter think of you in this bikini? Like, these fashion shows to me are antiquated. Like, we didn't even want to cover the Victoria's Secret fashion show because it was just like, I don't know. This just feels like it's from a past time. It's from a previous life that we don't really care about anymore. And I think I was trying to uncover why does it feel antiquated? It's not like I'm anti people in bikinis. I think the reason is, girl, everyone's got Instagram. We already know what you look like in a thong bikini. This isn't like some big reveal to be like, these are just like some hot bodies in bikinis. I just think we know what Bethenny Frankel looks like in a bikini. I didn't feel like
we've seen it.
It was some big reveal. Yeah, we've seen it. Like, her and Brynn are constantly dancing in bikinis on the beach in Miami.
That is true. I will say I'm with you in so much that I don't need another swim fashion show. I honestly could do without the entire Sports Illustrated industry, although I'm sure it does provide value for the economy and many jobs. However, is the culture, better because of it? I would say no. So I don't know. I'm with you. I think they're kind of trashy, tacky, embarrassing, antiquated. Who cares? But there is part of me that's like, I like seeing, someone who is older, than their prime, like loving their life, loving their body, embracing it. So there is a part of me that was kind of charmed by the whole thing, if I'm being completely candid.
Okay. I'm glad that they had, all different types of bodies and all different types of ages, like in the show. I think that's what they should be doing. But yeah. It doesn't fascinate me that much. It's not that like, also I'm never like, oh, I need to wear that bikini. I don't know. All the bikinis are never that cool to me.
It's just a marketing thing.
Right. Like, and also for the record, I know what Alex Earle looks like in a bikini. I could sketch her body from memory.
I always think about that. I always think about how like back in days of yore, when everyone like was fully clothed at all times, and there weren't even photographs, right? So really like there were only like illustrations of the nude form. Just how exciting it must have been to like show your naked body to someone. Like if you're like getting it on in like the 17th century, like that is like as you undress, like that is so much more exciting than now. Like we've just seen it,
And I think there were trade-offs with that. I think people were smelly.
I don't think I want to go back. I'm just saying, I think that it must have been more exciting.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes. Well, even think about like a woman in a painting. This is really where I'm going to show how unsophisticated I am. But like with her shoulder showing, like how sexy that was.
And
now
erotic.
It's literally like everything but, nipple tassels are out.
Right. So true. And with the way we're going, it's going to be nipple tassels pretty quick here.
Before we know it.
What else was I going to say about this that I thought would be just truly delightful for people to hear? I can't remember. Should we move on?
Father's Day always sneaks up on me, and I usually end up defaulting to socks or grill tools, but this year I wanted to actually get my dad something he'd enjoy. He's a lawyer by day, but when he's off the clock, he's lounging in our backyard by the pool with a book in hand. So I went with something from Quince because honestly, they always come through with the pieces that feel thoughtful but are still super practical. So I picked out a set from Quince's men's vacation shop. The driftwood linen shirt and matching flax linen beach pants. Lightweight, breathable, and effortlessly stylish. He looked like he stepped out of a resort ad. I added a sleek pair of sunglasses and he was set. Quince has the pieces dads actually want to wear, from relaxed linen sets to refined basics, and the best part, it's all 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with top artisans using only ethical and sustainable practices, so you get elevated quality without the markup. For the dad who deserves better than basic, Quince has you covered. Go to quince.com/apologist for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/apologist to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/apologist. I want to talk about Kylie Jenner because there was a reel posted by a random creator saying like, Kylie, you have the boobs that I want. Would you ever, I don't think you're ever going to see this video, but would you ever share, your CCs, what you did and your doctor? And Kylie commented and was like,
stop.
Did you not see this?
No, I didn't see
I think I sent it to you on Instagram, so maybe you didn't check,
okay.
But basically, sorry, let me find it. Kylie lists off the CCs. She lists off the doctor over or under the muscle. Yes, and said hope this helps. Yeah, it's all over.
What did she say?
I'm gonna find it.
What were the CCs? What were the doctor?
It was I think it was 450. I'm gonna get to this.
We need details, Chanler. Gosh. Wow.
But I thought that was honestly amazing.
It is incredibly refreshing. I will say, I remember her talking on Keeping Up with the Kardashians about how she had really, really beautiful breasts that were natural breasts for her body. But then she got bigger implants or big implants and she really regretted it. So maybe she got her boobs redone. So now I'm dying to hear how many were there?
She said 450 cc's. Moderate profile, half under the muscle, silicone. And then she also put Garth Fisher, who's the plastic surgeon who did them. And she said, hope this helps, LOL.
I mean, if you are Garth Fisher's wife, I think it is a moment to spend some money. Cha-ching, for sure. Is there something you've been wanting? Because this is a great day for Garth to feel a little flush, right? I bet you that Garth office is getting called off the hook.
Right. Sexy name for a plastic surgeon. Too.
I mean, sexy name, period. Sexy name, period. 100%. Garth.
Yeah. So
giving me some ideas.
My other extrapolation from this little moment from her. I think when you're in a really secure relationship and you feel very good about yourself and you don't feel ashamed of being a Kardashian, I think you are comfortable sharing these things. And I think not to congratulate or make this about her boyfriend. But I do think Timothy must make her feel quite at ease so that she can share, I had plastic surgery. She's not I don't know. I think that sometimes your relationship can make you feel more shame about work you've had done or work you haven't had done. And I think that this just reveals that she feels very comfortable right now in her skin.
What I was going to say is I think Kat's out of the bag a little bit on that she's had plastic surgery. So Timothy probably wasn't giving her the green light. But I do think that you're right because he could have made her feel a certain way where she's I don't want to draw any attention to this.
Yes.
But he clearly doesn't, which we just love from an art bro because it would be way more, I think, it would track way more if he was just all about all natural, yada, yada, yada.
If he wanted to distance himself as much as possible from the Beverly Hills of it all.
Right. I find Timothy and Kylie to be just the most surprising couple in the most refreshing way. They continue to just really, really shine for me.
It has been a personal healing journey for me.
Oh, really?
Because
a healing journey.
A healing journey. Because I started off with this relationship hating it. And I think I was just she's trashy. He's too sophisticated for her. And now I don't think either are true. I don't think she's trashy. She's maybe not my particular cup of tea. But I like her. Actually, I like her. And and that was my own self-righteousness.
I think that there is definitely something where, not to get too serious, but I think a lot of times we see women who are very, who look a certain way and we just assume a lot of negative things about them.
100%.
Elizabeth and I were discussing this about how if you're too blonde, it can say some bad things about you potentially. Like if you go, like even just being too blonde can potentially just communicate not great things, you know? And there's just like all these judgments we make about people. And I love that Timothy is way more evolved than us two behind the mics right now.
Literally so much more evolved. I ship them 100,000%. I hope they go the distance. I would love that.
I hope they get married for all time and eternity. Speaking of, can we discuss Ubah Hassan?
Yes, everybody. Mr. Connecticut, which I believe she stole from me because Ben is Mr. New York.
For sure.
Ubah
Cheater brand.
And Cheater brand. So, nothing is funnier than Cheater brand.
I think it's more dumb than Cheater brand too. It's like, okay, she can't make an alcohol. Like, give me a break. Did you know Bethenny blocked us on TikTok, by the way?
No.
Are you aware of that? Yeah, I know.
Sad.
But we're not blocked on Instagram. So remember when Bethenny talked about how like she gets so many flowers. Like when she's single, it's just like her house is a florist shop because of all the suitors. Yeah. We kind of roasted her over that. And I mean, that's got a block.
I have literally zero issue with our behavior in that scenario. So no regrets. But back to Ubah. She is engaged to Oliver Dashel. Another hot name. Ding, ding, ding.
Dashel.
I mean, sorry, not as a first name, as a last name, as a first and last name. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Oliver is extremely hot. Oliver is an extremely hot name, and he's an extremely hot person, period. Have you seen photos of this man, Chanler?
I have. Yeah.
He is model hot. He's giving Christian Grey. Okay. He is... Oh, you don't think he's stunning?
I mean, I think he's attractive. I mean, I feel like... I don't think he's giving Christian
Ben around?
Grey.
Are you nervous right now?
I'm like...
Just be honest.
Ben has a gun to my head. No, he's very hot. He's very hot. I don't know. Christian Grey to me is like, yeah, no, okay, fine. You win. He's Christian Grey. 50 Shades of Oliver Dashel.
He's even better than Christian Grey because Christian Grey is a little too like modelly. Like he's like dad, like warm, like super gorgeous. Like also beyond successful.
Like Christian Grey wants a sex room in the basement and he wants like, you know, a place to like, hang out with the golden retriever and, you know, read books by the fire.
Read Dickens by the fire for sure. And I feel like I also love, he's so broad of stature. I feel like they look so good together.
Yes, they do.
Like I just personally feel like we get fed so many narratives about men that fit this type. You know what I mean?
Right. Mr. Connecticut's who are just like, you know, going from escort to escort.
Exactly. Just wanting to, you know, date hot young things forever. And so I just feel like I love seeing Ubah get like a true equal. I think like
agreed.
Because she's so stunning. She's such a powerhouse, such a cool woman. And I find him, I'm clearly very impressed by him. And I just love this for her. Like I loved seeing him down on one knee in those beautiful photos. She looked so happy. Jill Zarin commented God had a plan. And I felt like that was maybe a little much.
No.
Like,
I love it. Literally, I'm worshiping. I'm at a worship service when I see that comment. I'm into it.
I feel like that's a good comment to text, but publicly, it's like I feel like
it's a little like
to say
you were old.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just a little like what she should have said is God had a plan for him, and he's so lucky to have found you.
No, it's like if somebody had commented that on my engagement post, it would have been like we were all praying for this to happen.
Exactly. But maybe God did have a plan because this is a beautiful couple. And I love it.
God has a plan for Deborra-Lee Furness and God has a plan for Ubah Hassan.
Furness.
What was her? Deborra-Lee Furness. Excuse me.
I think you're thinking of Joel Furman, Eat to Live. That was a book I read in high school. I told you all about.
I think it's because she also is always with her, like her name is always printed with her middle name. So I just like stop reading after her middle name.
Honestly, work soft. It's a way to live. Even when reading multiple word names. And Deborra-Lee Furness, God has a plan for her. And I love what she said, going back to Deborra-Lee. I love what she said about being like, what is important is living in integrity. And like that, like she feels better now that it's done. And like she, you know, it's broken. It's not that she feels better that the betrayal has happened, but like, it's like you would rather be living in integrity alone and like have your dignity and like be living in truth than being in a relationship with a man who's like fucking around. Like I'm sure Melinda Gates was for a long time. So that's a hot take.
It's such a good burn too to Hugh Jackman.
Such a good burn. I mean, Hugh's fall from grace. I didn't want to hate him, but I think I do now.
I know. I do too. I'm grossed out by him.
Why do we give Lauren a pass and we don't? Why do we do that? Do we need to go backtrack on a live girl?
Lauren, we are in this. We are on this road. I'm not interested in hearing alternate narratives. Okay. I'm not interested in changing my viewpoint. And if you want to do that, you can do that on your own time. But this podcast, we do find grace for Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos. Let's at least, you know, stick it out through the wedding with this, Grace, because we need to cover the wedding.
I think we love it because she just seems so, I mean, this is so wrong, but she just seems so happy and they seem so happy. But Sutton just seems happy too.
No, I think it's
we
worse.
Love it?
I think they're like caricatures. So I don't know why. We're
entertained by their love.
I'm so much more entertained. And she's so entertaining to just like watch exist. And so I'm just like, keep it going. Like literally keep it coming. I will keep popping the popcorn. With everyone else, it's like, oh, this is a real family. I don't know.
Yeah, Mackenzie. But also I will say in our defense, Mackenzie gave us nothing, you know, in terms of.
And they give us everything. I mean.
And they gave us so much.
So much. So our cup runneth over.
Thank you, Jeff and Lauren. You are welcome on the pod anytime. We would love to have you. Hugh and Sutton, we'll have you as well.
We will. Anything else, Lauren, you want to get into before we conclude this stunning episode?
You guys, I just want to say thank you to everyone who listens. Apologies for not having my hair done properly today, for being a little ragged, worse for wear. I like to have a perfect curl, and I do not today.
Well, thank God you came clean with everybody. And, you know, we will accept you just this once as you are.
You guys, love you so much. We will be back on Friday with a mini and on Monday with a full episode for Global Elites, and back on Wednesday with another free episode for all of our beautiful Pop Apologist listeners. Love ya.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Now y'all know there's always more to the story. And on the Tony Brienne TV podcast, we break it all the way down. Whether it's viral moments currently shaking up on the internet.
Blake Lively has been acclaimed the American Dream Girl for quite some time now. And now it seems she's America's most hated.
Pop culture phenomenon everyone's talking about. Or deep dives into stories that deserve much more attention.
These Black women are getting pregnant by people that we also consider to be lower than them.
I'm here to give you the full picture, genuine insights, and conversations mainstream media often overlooks.
Some women are getting so many fillers and Botox injection into their face that they don't even realize how crazy they can potentially look.
Here, we explore different perspectives.
To a lot of people, Kylie looks a lot older than she really is.
And above all, we speak the truth.
That is not okay, and that should get you registered as a sex offender.
You must check out the Tony Brienne TV podcast. You don't want to miss what's coming next.